Hi, I'm Susan from the Quiet Zone Coaching. Welcome to part two of looking for happiness, how to find happiness, how to bring happiness into your life, and how to reduce the stress of daily life as well. And this is part two of our video series. Today, we're going to, as promised, speak about developing an attitude of gratitude and positivity. So in order to find the pathway to peace and happiness and to deal with daily distress, we have to change our attitude towards life in general. We have to change at the way we look at it. For example, here's my highlighter. Okay. Yep, just a regular old standard Staples highlighter. Okay, and this is what it looks like. But we can also look at it like this. And it doesn't look anything like this. And yet it's the same highlighter, okay? And that's exactly what we're going to do with the way we perceive our lives. Now, last time we talked about maintaining mindfulness and observing the way we feel, our environment, what's going on around us, what are we doing, focusing on our tasks. And while we're doing that, um, we can change our perspective. And instead of looking at life like this, we're going to learn how to look at it like this. So bear with me while we talk about this a little bit. Before we go any further, I have to say something, and this is very important, okay? Happiness is not a goal, okay? You can't find it, you can't create it, you can't make it, okay? Happiness is a byproduct of daily life. It is a byproduct of mindful awe, wonder, amazement, and gratitude for all of those little in between moments of our lives that come in between milestones. Okay? Happiness is not something that we can find. When we try to find it, it's elusive. We can say to ourselves, if only I had this, or when I get married, I'll be happy, or when I buy this new car, I'll be happy, or if I get the kind of clothes I want, I'll be happy. And we never feel happy. We might feel better in the short term, but we don't feel happy. And that's because we are not being grateful for and appreciating what we have already. Okay. When it comes to people tell me all the time, oh yes, I practice the secret, I try to manifest the things that I want in my life. And I just laugh and I say, no, you're never going to get it. Because when you try to do things like that, what you're doing is you're sending a message out to the universe that says, I want something, which implies that you don't have it. Okay. And that's what the universe is going to give you. You don't have it. Okay. But if you're happy with what you already have, okay. And to be honest with you, I am very logical and reasonable. I base all my approaches on psychology and science. And I really don't understand why this happens, but it does. And I've seen it happen all the time, is that we attract to ourselves um, what we put out there. Okay. So if you're grateful for what you have, you will get more for which to be grateful. Okay. Don't know why. That's just the way it works. And I think it has something to do with the way we carry ourselves when we're grateful for what we have. It's a subconscious communication that we have with other people and with the rest of the world. It's an energy that we send out. Anyway, this doesn't matter where it comes from. But the idea is that we need to change from seeing the world in one way into seeing it another way. Okay. How do we do that? Okay. Well, find wonder, amazement, awe, and gratitude for everyday experiences, everyday things, everyday um, environments, the things that you started to notice while you were becoming mindful. Now I want you to add another layer to it. Okay. So be amazed by things, find wonder in things. In the first video, I believe I mentioned something about a car. Okay. So if you thought about your car, Somebody had to design it, somebody had to engineer it, somebody had to assemble it. It went through this miracle of ingenuity and technology and thought. And now you are hurtling through time and space doing 50 miles an hour or however fast you're going in a box. Okay. Um, could you do that on your own? Hell no. Okay. That's amazing. Think about that. What about your cell phone? Okay. This is a computer that we hold in our hands. Okay. I can talk to and communicate with other people without a wire, without being connected to anything. It's all microwaves. Um, well, that's pretty wild. Okay, that's a miracle. Now think about that. If we were transported back to the Stone Age, would we have any of these tools and gizmos and gadgets that we have? No. If you brought George Washington back from the dead and sat him in a car, he'd probably have a heart attack. If you took Franklin to a movie, they'd probably take you and have you stoned because they think you were a witch. Think about that. This is stuff that we experience in our daily lives, our everyday lives, and this stuff, these are miraculous things. Think about that. Um, Riding in your car, look at the trees. Okay. They shed their leaves. Well, if they're deciduous trees, they shed their leaves and then they start again when the weather gets warm. This is how they're programmed. They're programmed to do that. The flowers that grow, look at them. That's amazing. Look at the petals. Look at the way they reproduce and they rely on insects to pollinate. That's amazing. Um, what other things can I think of? The breeze. The breeze has, you feel the breeze and it feels good. You realize that what you're feeling is the movement of oxygen, nitrogen, dust, molecules, hydrogen, all these different elements that are in our air, as well as the dust and pollen and other things. And what we're feeling is we're feeling the movement of those and the rotation of the earth. That is absolutely amazing. Think about that. Find wonder, amazement, awe in everyday experiences and everyday things. Um, this is really an integral part of dealing with the distress of our daily lives. I don't like to call it stress if I can help it, even though that's what it's traditionally called, is stress, okay? But needing to eat, needing to go to the bathroom, needing to sleep, these are all stressors too. Stressors are just things that cause us to take action, okay? Distress is when we are unhappy or we're feeling forced to take an action that's not to our benefit or creating a negative emotion or situation, okay? And this is an integral part to now managing the happiness scale, because that happiness is a byproduct of appreciating, finding wonder, awe, and amazement, the mindful wonder, awe, amazement, and gratitude for each of these little individual moments that we experience in life. So these things are all related. It's important to manage that stress level and learn how to deal with it in order to create happiness. And learning this attitude of gratitude is very important. And there's a very good reason for it. And I will explain this. I call it the new car factor. Okay. So when you get a new car and you go out on the road and you start driving it around and you go, oh, I love my new, whatever it is. And all of a sudden you start seeing all the other ones like it out on the road. Wow, look at that. Um, I have a Hyundai Santa Fe, and now I see, like there's 30 of them on the road, or all in my own neighborhood. Where did they come from? Well, they didn't just magically appear out of nowhere. It's familiar. They've always been there. Okay. So now you have one, it's familiar to you, and you start noticing all the other ones like it out on the road. Look at that. So when you start finding gratitude and wonder and amazement and awe for everyday life and everyday things and everyday experiences, you will start to notice more and more and more of these things, how wonderful they are, how wonderful things are that you never paid attention to before. Just like when you were learning mindfulness, you started noticing things that you hadn't noticed before. And now you're going to start to appreciate those new things that you noticed and assign a positive value to them. And this is good because it not only does it become familiar, and we will see more and more of it and feel better about life in general because of it. But there's another reason too. We will now start to attract other human beings who feel comfortable in their own skin, who love and appreciate and find gratitude and amazement and awe and wonder for their environments, because your behavior, most of our communication is nonverbal. So the nonverbal behavior that you will be putting out will be one of a higher happiness level, a higher gratitude level, a higher contentment level. Okay. And that is going to be familiar to other people who feel the same way. So you will begin to attract to yourself other people and that have that same value system, and you will be able to create healthier friendships and healthier relationships because of it. Okay, so the new car factor goes both ways. Not only will you start to notice more positivity in your life as you notice positivity, but you will start to attract people to you that are more positive, and you will start to attract more things in your life that are also wonderful and positive. Don't know how, but I know it works. Okay, that I'm still trying to figure out how that works. Okay. Now, some of the exercises that I give to my clients have to do with keeping track. Okay. And a lot of these exercises that I do give my clients involve things that are very small, not big things. Okay. So I keep my own right here, have my own gratitude journal, get a notebook. Okay. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. It can be a 50-cent marble notebook from Walmart or Target or wherever you can find one. And every day I want you to start writing down just a few things in your gratitude journal. And this is mine. And I mean, we're talking little things like I made it through 3 green lights today. Well, living on Long Island, that's actually kind of a big thing. I feel good today. Um, I got info about a website from a friend that I was looking for. I got a haircut and my haircut looked great that day. I had, oh, this one was around New Year's. I had a great relaxed New Year's celebration with my husband. Um, what else? Oh, I trusted my own judgment on how to run my errands, and it turns out that my judgment was right on track, and I did my errands very efficiently that day. My mechanic got my car inspected while I waited. Oh my gosh, that's incredible for my mechanic, especially. He's wonderful, but he takes a long time. Oh, it took. I had to persevere to do it, but I got the curtains up in the bedroom. That was a little bit of a chore. But these are the little stupid things that happen every day that I can be grateful for. These are wonderful, positive events that occurred in my day, and I just wrote down a few of them every day. Doesn't have to be anything earth-shattering. If you can't find anything positive about the day and it was a horrible day, you could still be grateful for the fact that you made it through the day. Okay, you survived it. Pat yourself on the back, golfers clap. Look at that. You're still here. I'm like a Timex. I take a licking and keep on ticking. If that's what you have to put into your gratitude journal, that's what you put. Okay. Let's see. I think we talked a little bit about this in the last video about the comfort of clothing. Wear comfortable clothing. Notice how wonderful it feels, how comfortable it is on your body, how good your shoes feel in your feet. Um, let's see, when you're eating, notice the aromas and the flavors, and think about how amazing it was to put all those flavors together into a delicious meal. I love eating delicious things, don't you? I love to wear comfortable clothes, don't you? Of course we do. Feel the warmth of the water when you're taking a bath or a shower, how soft the suds feel on your skin. It feels amazing, and it feels great to be clean again. Um, Embrace those feelings. Remember that. Wow, that, take the experience of taking a shower. It felt so good. Okay. And instead of using that time to be busy and think about what we're going to do with the rest of the day, just use the time to be mindful. Okay. And to appreciate the moment. Let's see. Make a game out of it. You can see how many new things that you can notice in your day that are wonderful and amazing, and something you could be grateful for. Look at when you go to work and you look at the building, look at it through the eyes of somebody who's never seen it before, and say, "Wow, look at that! How did they get those big glass panels into that building? Look at the way it's designed. There had to be an architect who designed this building." Um, find something wonderful about it. And like I said, there is always something that you can find to be grateful for, something that's positive about your day. And the more you look for them, the more you'll find. Write them down, keep track. And there's a reason that we write them down. Number one, we write them down because the physical act of writing reinforces neural pathways in our brain. Okay, so remember when you were in elementary school and you got your spelling words and your teacher made you write them 3 or 4 times or 10 times each or whatever it was? That was so you would remember them. Same thing applies here. The second reason I ask my clients to keep a gratitude journal and just write a few things down is because when you're having a crappy day, you can go back and you could say, oh my gosh, this is a horrible day. This is a horrible day. Okay, but on January 16th, I made it home before the oil guy came to deliver oil. That was a win. Um, I had a very interesting dinner recipe. The word interesting implies it probably wasn't that tasty, but it was interesting. I had plenty of time to do my chores. And those are the things I wrote down just on January 16th. So, okay, so you know what? So maybe if today is a crappy day, tomorrow won't be so bad, because not every day is bad, because here's the proof. Okay, another reason to write things down. In our next video, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about managing expectations, and also what to do when the moment stinks. When there's a negative person, a negative situation, negative emotion that arises, what do you do with it in the moment? And we will talk about in another video ways to pick apart all that stuff later and see where our negative behaviors and negative emotions come from and what we can do about them. But when we're in the moment and things are happening, sometimes we don't remember, and we have to have something quick that we can grab. So I'm going to give you that in the next video. But until then, I thank you for watching, and I hope you're enjoying the series on how to find happiness in your daily life. And I'll talk to you again very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.